Good.
Welcome to the October 11, 2016 committee meeting. Present are all board members and selected guests. Move on.
We're going to say the pledge again?
You want to do, let's do the pledge
Let's do the pledge again.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think they were louder that time.
I think everybody's facing the right way that time, too. So you realize Scott gets in here early and moves the flag around. We never know which flag we're pledging allegiance to.
Now that I've been accused of it,
Yeah. Called you out. All right, I'll go ahead and start on our discussion items. I thought I'd start with letter C, since our potential nominee has attended this evening, and putting the pressure on you there, Lynn. So, as you know, we've spent about 2 months talking about replacing Ms. Horsley as our Great Oaks representative, and with these changes in the statute over the last year, it doesn't just have to be a school board member. And so I know we thought a lot about somebody who has experience with the Oaks, somebody who we know cares about our school district, and somebody who we know cares about our community. And as we beat around different names, one name came up big time, and it became real obvious, and that's Lynn Ellis. So our process would be is that if we're all in agreement tonight, we have a resolution that we will put on the board agenda next week. And once approved, Lynn would have to come up and give about a 10 to 12 minute speech on television. Yeah. This time you'll be on the right side of the mic, okay? You'll be on our team this time. And so so I just thought, now that I've already laid the groundwork, I'll turn it over to Sarah or anybody else. So.
No, absolutely. So, as Rob mentioned, Lynn Ellis has agreed and is very interested in taking my role on the Great Oaks board. I shared all the information with her, and she knows, what the board is all about, and we did have a few things that we wanted to talk through as a group, just to understand how we're going to keep connected with the Great Oaks and what our updates are going to look like. So I just wanted to kind of talk through what my plan or my proposed plan was, and then get alignment on that. So first step is for me to resign. I have already drafted my letter that I would give to Harry and the board of directors at Great Oaks. So I would do that this month. And then during our October board meeting, we would approve Lynn as the representative for Great Oaks during that meeting.
Sarah, do you have to do any form of resignation at all towards us, or since we're...
That's a good question.
Because we vote every year, don't we? Right. On who's going to, like legislative and OSBA.
Right.
So if I can ask Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I have to resign from the Great Oaks, but I don't know if I have to resign. Just a point.
Yeah, everybody does. Do we actually vote at the end of our?
I think we just.
meeting, or everybody just says, "Yeah, I'll do it." If it's just a "Yeah, I'll do it," then you don't need to. I didn't know if at the end we voted, because everybody just said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So okay, we're good then.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we're good there. And then the November meeting, I will go with Lynn and have just introduce her to everybody and make sure that they know who she is and she's comfortable with where to go and all that. And then she would take it from there. She would get sworn in at the November meeting. So that's my plan of attack. And then, every month we do have on the agenda a readout of, what's going on with the Great Oaks. So I thought, instead of having Lynn come to the meetings every month, because I know there's not always a lot going on with the Great Oaks, if we wanted, she could share the agenda with Rob and I, and maybe even send a few words just in terms of what the update was or anything important that's going on, and then we could read that out during our board meeting so that everybody is kept aware of what's going on. But for the most part, if we needed her to, if something big happened, she could come to the meeting and present information. But for the most part, I've been serving on that board for 7 years. There's not been a ton of updates that have needed to be urgently shared, so I feel pretty good about that approach. I wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable with that. And then Yeah, we can make the plan. I did receive a letter, and I know Scott, you did too, just stating that we have to approve a resolution. It doesn't have to be until January 2017, but they're setting term limits. So along with a lot of the changes of who can represent us on the board, so it doesn't have to be a school board member, it can be anybody that lives or works within the city limits. They're also setting term limits. So they have done a rotation of what school districts will be on for which years, simply because as it was, everybody would be brand new in, I think it was 2022, as they stated it. So they're doing rolling. So in 2019, the first group will come out, 2022 will be the second year, and then 2025. And Norwood falls within the 2022, which is 6 years.
So the term limits, it's not driven by the Oaks, right? It's statutory, right?
Yes, yes. And they did get agreement that because this is new, that they will set this in place for now.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 2025, it will be a hard 6 years, but it'll be set up as rolling since they've set it with each district. So,
Okay.
changes there. So we will need to get this done by January.
Okay. So I want to thank you for the work you did with Lynn, because I know when I initially met with Lynn, there were a lot of questions Lynn had that I said, well, you're going to have to talk to Sarah. You're going to have to talk to Sarah. Well, you might want to meet with Sarah. And so I appreciate you doing it real quick. I appreciate that. So,
I appreciate you doing this.
Lynn, I appreciate it. I know you love the district, and I know you love the school and in the community. And I also know you have a lot of knowledge about the Oaks with your son attending there. And so I think it's a great fit. So
what is my term limit? Can I ask that question?
At this point, it would be 2022. That would be the 6 years. But I don't know if we would, I guess would appoint her every year, just given that we.
yeah, the MAC, yeah, we'd have to appoint you.
We would appoint you.
So Lynn, you need to understand something. Over the last 8 years, we've had a saying here: once you're in the family, there's no getting out. Okay.
I mean, I feel like that with the conversion school.
Oh, you're not going anywhere there either. We're just sucking you in. He's pulling me back in. Let me back in. So, well, thank you very much, Lynn. Sarah, thank you for your service on that. And, when you came and talked to me about trying to get some reorganized, and I just appreciate the work you did there. And I know how busy you are. And I can never keep track of what country you're in, whether it's United States, Germany, Japan, England. But, and I know your passion is in just how much you care about the Oaks. And you bring a lot of good information to us. I appreciate that. Looking forward to Lynn filling the bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So all the things that Sarah didn't tell you, she's going to tell you tomorrow.
That's what I thought. You would be telling me.
Well, here's what's called other duties as assigned by the Board of Education. After the meeting, Sarah's going to go, it's on you, dude. Yeah. So I'll kind of get back in order. Going to go back up to letter A, the Community Conversion School. Obviously, Lynn knows a lot about, but as we presented out to the NCCS board 2 weeks ago, we're doing some transitioning within, in that Debbie's taken over a lot of the roles that I have served, because I got a couple other things that I'm doing. And so while my role is still going to be dealing with all the Ohio Revised Code, the statute, all those pieces that are ever changing, as well as dealing with some of the legislative and political ends, and I'm still considered the president of the school, and Ernie's still the CFO of the school. A lot of the day-to-day communications and connections with Kevin, I need to make sure Kevin always has somebody he can reach out to immediately and get answers. So sometime I may not be available. So Debbie's transitioned into taking a lot of the roles and also consolidating some bits and pieces that we've done into having somebody who can do a lot of things at a moment's notice and be able to provide a lot more immediate support. So from this point, the Community Conversion School reports will be provided by Debbie, because she is much more involved on a daily basis than I have the ability to be, especially right now. And so I'm going to turn the Community Conversion School monthly update over to Debbie.
Yeah, how you mentioned the duties as assigned. Here you go. Here we are. I met with Kevin back in August, I guess, just to start so that we could get an idea of responsibilities, what he was looking for, as far as pretty much a liaison, like Rob said, somebody that he can reach out to instantly. Many times there's things that come up and he's just not sure, and he reaches out to Rob, and Rob's doing a million other things. So that's when I'm trying to step in and take care of it right away. A lot of my role with Kevin is just both of us making sure that any of the enrollees that are coming in, that we check what their status is as far as testing needs. Also, we've met with Mr. Munchin and other guidance counselor in order to see where they are as far as progress and staying on track to graduate, because ultimately that's what we're trying to get at. Right now, the main focus, we have 5 students that need to pass OGT, anywhere from 3 tests or 5 tests. I believe there's one that needs all of them. And in that situation, we're just trying to get remediation. This is the last year for OGT, so then it's going to fall into the end of year exams if we can't get them through OGT, and that's ultimately the goal, is to get them through that. We also, Kevin and I and Rob, we're dealing a lot with compliance issues. The state and its infinite wisdom wanted us to, this represents about 172 different items that we had to compile. And it was interesting because we were working on the 14-15 school year, and that's what 172 items represented. And then in the middle
Think about
of July,
that. They were still collecting stuff from 14, 15.
So this is 14-15, and then we turned around in July, about 2 days before we went on vacation, and Rob gets an email that says, oh, by the way, we want 15-16 uploaded, and it had to be uploaded. We were leaving the next morning, and they wanted it by Monday. And, they swear that they sent out emails, but of course he couldn't find, anything, but didn't matter. So we spent about 4 hours uploading more documents than we had. Then we came back to work August 11th, I believe. We had a 3-hour conference call. This represents 19 more items that they said we didn't do well enough. But they told us they wanted representation of 19 more items, but we could only upload 10. So then we had to figure out a way in which to kind of, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I did it, we did it, we got 10, 19 into 10 and uploaded it, and we haven't heard anything since. But what we have heard is as soon as we did all of that, that potentially by the end of this month, there may be new compliance requirements that will come about that will require another 172 documents. But we're not sure, and they're not sure. So, and as Rob mentioned, that we're kind of in arrears with everything. It's just sort of when they get around to it. But again, as I mentioned before about OGT, Kevin and I are working, trying to get, he's used some of I ordered social studies books that I was going to try and use to remediate some of the students last summer before they took the OGT, but many of them, as you know, that's why they're in the conversion schools, because they have difficulties. Right now we have 30 students enrolled and 10 have babies. So, it's quite the challenge for them. And so I created, some items in which to try to remediate for social studies, which is, I used to teach social studies, so Kevin's now using that, items that I created in order to help with remediation. Steve Schnee, he's working with the kids. They just had a math review last Thursday. He wants to have another one. He's trying to do it at least weekly. And anytime the kids have, time in order to get some sort of other remediation, anything that, Steve comes up, works with the kids, or some of them can stay after. It depends on scheduling and babysitting needs and et cetera. We just ordered more science remediation books, and Kevin, I know he's speaking with Leslie Hadaway to try to get some type of, again, planning period before school. After, it's difficult because after school for them or for our teachers is not after school for the students, because they're not there as long as the other teachers. So at this point, we're just working. Anytime there's any type of logistical issues, I'm the one that's, trying to make sure that everybody is situated and any needs that are taken care of. So that's where we're at. OGT is the week of the 24th, and like I said, we've got 5 students that they need to pass that, hopefully, in order to graduate.
I think one thing we found really not even interesting, I would say disappointing or shocking, and we talked to the NCCS board about this 2 weeks ago. See that big stack right there? You know what they didn't want any information on? Academics. Basically our instructional program, academics, student progress, or attendance. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. Whether it's NCCS or Norwood City Schools, that is what we do. More interest in what is your fire drill exit procedure. Or simple things like, we need proof that you guys as the sponsor communicate with them, the school. And there was a real difficulty of ODE understanding that here's how we communicate. Kevin calls us, or we call Kevin, or we drive the 1 mile over there. And we needed to provide proof that we had meetings that have agendas, minutes, itineraries, and we kept saying, we handle it, Kevin calls Debbie. Or if it's something, a big item, he'll call me, like a disciplinary issue. Or we call Kevin. Like, well, no, we need actual meeting minutes and agendas. We're like, okay, we're different, we're small, we're a mile apart. We do things personally. Okay, well, here's what you need, Mr. Modio. We need minutes and agendas. And the best thing is, I'm losing my mind, and Debbie's going, sit there, shut up, and I'll listen. Because I'm losing my mind. I'm going, we do things more effectively because we do things in person. We're little. That's what we believe in. So, but of all of those things, there's yet been a question about, can you tell me about your student attendance, how you track attendance? What is the instructional program? Hasn't been one question about Edgenuity. Hasn't been one question about the supports that Kevin, John Sigler, Debbie, Leslie Hadaway, Steve Sneed, Tom Munchin. Never been a question about that.
They didn't even ask us how many kids had graduated. You know, in the last few years, those 15 kids, they would have not graduated any other way but through the conversion school. And they didn't really care. Out of those 19, the additional documents, 10 of them had to do with fire code, safety code, crisis plan. Again, repeating, uploading any of our licensure issues. It had nothing to do with, where are they at on the, process of graduating.
When we had our on-site visit, our site review, you know where it was? It was in my office. He was there 12 minutes. At the end of the meeting, I said, hey, would you like to go over to the school? What's the address? I said, well, just follow me over there. I'm just going to drive by. I said, well, would you like to see? Because we're now using 3 rooms. And we started out with 1, then 2, and now we're using 3. Would you like to go by? I'll take you over there. No. I'm just going to drive by. And, for a charter or community school that is hiding from accountability, that's wonderful. For a charter school or community school that prides itself on accountability, that's a disappointment. Because we want to be the poster child of how to do this doggone thing. And I feel our mission, not us, but our mission of what we're doing and what our kids are achieving, it's amazing. When you think about Debbie just said we got 10 students who are pregnant, guys, they wouldn't have graduated. Because most of them will come in at 7:30 because you lose your babysitter around 1. And so, and some of the other kids, some of them who've walked across that dais, they wouldn't have gotten diplomas. But because we are offering an education that's rigorous in a different way, I want to have folders that big where we can talk about that. It's not what we're being evaluated on, guys. It's not what they're evaluating charter schools on. It's all about, are you complying with paperwork and documents? And I'll finish my soapbox on tape because I did it 2 weeks ago. Here's the bottom line. Privately owned charter and community schools have entire departments of people who do nothing but compliance. But their student outcomes, they're not like our kids. We don't have a lot of influence because we're not real popular. There's not many. There's only 6 in the state that are doing what we're doing. And 4 of them are ESCs. And so we're being graded on that stuff. We're being evaluated on that stuff. And we should be evaluated on what we're doing with children. And Johnny, Kevin, Debbie, Tom, Steve, everybody doing great things with our kids. And that's what we should be evaluated on. Graduating. Everybody who was in sniffing distance of being able to graduate, are graduating. You know, we had a kiddo make almost 2 years progress in 12 months because she decided to. And so, we didn't have to upload a single child story when we got not one single success story. That's a shame. So I know when we all lay our head in a pillow at night, we're doing some really neat things for kids. We started it 3 years ago. And this was an idea that you guys supported. And I appreciate that because it's the right thing for our kids. So there's my soapbox. And Debbie's heard that 100 times sitting at home going, I can't believe this. So there's about mine. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing because it's taking care of kids. And Debbie, you'll keep complying. So how's that? There you go. Not with me, but with ODE. That other part, that doesn't work. So any questions for Debbie or myself on the conversion school? It's good stuff. Good things are happening over there. Kevin's the right guy for the job, I'll tell you that. You know what he is? He's kind of the head coach of the program. If you go in there, we got a whiteboard in there, or a chalkboard that he's painting over white. And don't share this because it's his big surprise at the end of the month. He's creating a Hall of Fame. Going to have Doug Baumgartner paint up a copy on that chalkboard, covering it with paint that goes over chalkboards, and is going to create a Hall of Fame. Basically going to replicate Doug Baumgartner painting a copy of every kid who's got a diploma. Going to create a wall of fame on that wall for those kids when they first enter with 3 credits at 17 years old to see that I can do that, and creating that wall of fame. So, you know, Kevin's doing stuff in there like what you're able to do with your kids, John. Good. So, all right, I'll move on to bond issue. Let you know where we're at. Okay, we did. How many of you got door hangers? We may have skipped your house because we were running out, actually. Because I know the group that had your neighborhood, and they're all sitting in here right now, starting with me. So as we were running low on hangers, if we saw somebody who we knew, like, oh, that person works for us, or that's their mom, we may have skipped the house. But so here's what I can tell you. We've got information out on Vote for Norwood Schools Facebook site. Okay, more information's going out there right now, or at some point tonight. Julie will load it up. I have an email site where we've had some great questions from people where they've asked for more information, and we've got it. Yard signs will be in hopefully Thursday or Friday morning, and we will get those out. So I will just drop one off at each of your houses.
Julie already got us.
Okay, Julie's already in, because we do still have a database of who had them in 2010. So what I can tell you is our timing for getting the momentum is on time. It's on our timeline. It's on track. We do another door hanger drop the Friday before voting day. Okay. Also, I'm got to see once the playoff postseason, soccer, volleyball, those things. Once those seedings are all out, I've got to look at that because we're going to do one public meeting. I'll do it at the middle school or the high school. In 2010, did them in each elementary, and they were really sparsely attended. I did them like a couple nights over 2 weeks. So we're just going to do one in the middle, and that'll be communicated via Facebook as well as on our email site. So, but I don't want to schedule something, then all of a sudden the boys or girls soccer or volleyball is playing that night, because that's not fair. I don't want to draw people away from our kids. So once the parents come out, then I'll have that scheduled. We'll do it either at the high school or middle school, and just informational night. So, like I said, last time we did one at each elementary, and it was maybe 4 or 5 people who weren't employees showed up. And so I want to try to have one night more centralized. So if you guys get any questions that you're not sure of, or an idea pops in your head, contact me. Let me know. That's what I'm here for. So, but we're gaining momentum and moving forward. So, but we had real good coverage, as in a great number of participation among staff to cover the district. We'll be doing it again. So, guys, have any questions? November 8th is going to be a good day. Going to be a good day. So, I can tell you across the district, the feedback people were getting when they were dropping the door hangers was significantly positive. Significantly. So that was a good thing. All right, those are my discussion items for tonight. Do you guys have any other items you'd like to discuss?
Well, November 8th, we're supposed to have a board meeting that night. Our committee meeting, right?
Yeah.
Do we need to move that, or are we okay to?
I think we'll be okay. Yeah, because you figure it's 5:30.
Yeah.
Polls are still open. So, yep. It'll be good for all of us to be together that night. So Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and walk through the agenda now, guys. As of right now, education report, we don't have any student trip requests. May have by next week. Under employment, classified subs, we'll have 4 on the agenda. Student assistance, student aides for 16-17 have 4 on the agenda. Let's see, you will notice, guys, preschool student assistants, Williams and Sharpsburg, by law, we have to add more. The ratio has been what prior to this year? So for every 6 kids, you had to have 1 adult. So we've had, with a ratio of, we have 16 kids in there, so we have had, well, it wasn't 1 to 6, what was it prior?
1 to 8.
It was 1 to 8 prior, so we had a teacher and an aide. Well, what happened was the federal government audited the state of Ohio, and the state of Ohio wasn't applying the 1 to 6 ratio, which it's supposed to be instead of 1 to 8. So now, since we have 16 kids, we have to have 3 adults in there. So now, as you can imagine, the amount of funding to support that mandate is this much, but we have to do it, and so we're going to do it because, as you well know, we have significant data that shows our kids who attend any of our preschool programs, when they finish 3rd grade, 78% are at or above the reading grade level for reading. Those who do not attend preschool are at 38%. And so preschool is very important. And we have the proof to show that in our district. So we've had to add 4. We have 3 here recommended. We'll have a 4th by the board meeting. So we've had to add 3 more. So, and then we have 2 change of status, people who are moving around jobs in the district. Then under supplemental contracts, career ed coordinators 2. We have 4 for band. It's actually 3 people. 3 people are splitting up some jobs. Under athletics, we have 2. And avenue of success, we have 3. Policy, I don't believe we have any new policies coming down the pike for another month or 2. Buildings and grounds, we have 2 around transportation, approval of resolution declaring transportation students a Summit Country Day impractical for the 16-17 school year, approval of the transportation reimbursement rate, and then 3, approval of use of facilities. And then going down to finance report, we have City of Norwood TIF agreements, which the actual copy of the TIF agreements I've asked Ernie to send to you guys so you guys can peruse them. And then the approval of financial reports and purchase orders, we have 1 of over 20,000. If I'm correct, the biggest part of the TIF agreements is the CDK with Viking Partners that we've been working on and off again for 2.5 years. So what's interesting is the work is already completed there, yet our portion of the TIF agreement is not completed. So that's been unique with that. So, but I think Ernie's done a good job while we've been to Waymer for our bond council on it. So and that completes my agenda items for tonight. If anybody else has anything.
Anyone else? All right, we will be adjourned at 5:58.